Thank you. And joining me on stage now are some of the creative minds working on this content for NOVA. So first we have Ralph Bouquet, who's the Director of Education and Outreach for NOVA, which, as we all know, is the PBS science documentary series produced by WGBH. Ralph is passionate about STEM and bringing more technology and problem-based learning into the classroom. So Ralph, feel free to take a seat. Yeah, choose whatever chair feels good to you. And next we have Randy Scott, who is a teacher at Davison High School in Flint, Michigan, one of the participating schools in the 2023 NOVA Science Studios program. And next we have Cooper Austin, as well as Caleb Hirsch, who are both Gen Zers, students at Davison High School who participated in NSS this past year. And Cooper and Caleb in particular are very passionate about projects that focus on sustainability and protecting the climate. So actually, Ralph, I'd love to start with you. Why did NOVA decide to pursue this?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here, Sophie. Thank you to CPB for their support of this program. I think for us, NOVA is now approaching our 50th anniversary in 2024, which is a very exciting moment for us. And I think it's also an opportunity for reflection as well. Our goal is to illuminate the creativity, the excitement, the transformative power of science. And I think it's so important for us to ensure that we're providing opportunities and pathways for the next generation to be able to tell science stories about the issues that matter to them. And so I think we were really focused on creating a youth science journalism program that would really empower students to tell engaging stories about the science issues happening in their communities. Science is also very much a civic issue as well. Many of the civic decisions that we're making need to be empowered and need to be supported by science, and we need to have that literacy available to all of our citizens. So I think, putting students and providing them with the opportunity to do that and to report on the issues that are impacting them, whether it's climate change. We've had students talk about climate anxiety, talking about all the different impacts of extreme weather events that they're already witnessing in their communities. So I think that's really why we wanted to provide that opportunity and that pathway for these incredible students to tell their stories.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ralph, for being here. Randy, what was the decision to pursue this project?
When WKAR reached out to us and NOVA reached out to us, it was a no-brainer. We had to get into this. I mean, these kids were going to be telling big, huge stories that matter, and they were going to be out in the community. We're going to be working with professionals at NOVA, WKAR. They're going to be coming to our school, and we're going to get the kids out of the classroom and get into the real stuff, talking to scientists, talking to people who are working in their community to figure out this climate change problems. And so, that's a no-brainer. Anytime you can get kids out and see things that are real and in the real world, it just makes so much of a difference. Like just being here today, like this makes a huge difference for any kind of kid.
Amazing. I feel your passion on stage. Thanks, Randy. Cooper, tell us a little bit more about why personally you were interested in participating in NOVA.
So like a lot of our generation, I'm very interested in politics. I think that's one of Gen Z's best qualities. And with politics, it involves a lot of climate change. We might have to depend on our government to take down the climate emergency. In this NOVA project, it completely highlights the government's role in helping stop climate change. And it was an amazing opportunity for us as students to show that.
Thanks so much. And Caleb, what about you? What got you involved?
As soon as Randy kind of threw out the idea and started brainstorming the idea, I was the first one in the class that he kind of looked towards, and he was like, this is going to be your thing. I remember him exactly saying, you better be okay with this because you're going to be kind of leading it. And I immediately I got completely involved with all the videos, with all of the shoots and everything. I was always down. I was missing school a ton, which wasn't great, but it was amazing to go out and get in the real world of what I wanted to do. This is what I want to do as a job. I want to put these stories out there. And the fact that I, as a high schooler, am able to go to these places, meet the big guys, and just be part of the conversation and put out the stories that I care about, the stories that I want to tell others about, and it was just amazing. I don't know, as soon as I heard the idea, I was on board.
So exciting. And Ralph, how would you describe the impact of this program and maybe what you had hoped it would be versus what you're seeing it impact now?
Yeah, I think doing any sort of youth media work, I think it requires a lesson in humility. It requires, a willingness to share power. with students. And I think that's an important part of, I think that's an important takeaway that we've had, is seeing the impact of doing that, providing a space for students to go out to the communities to set up interviews with scientists. I think, it's not only about sort of, we focus a lot on the hard skills, our program has a curriculum that focuses on everything from video production to science misinformation and how to spot it online, to digital media literacy in general. And I think those are all sort of very important skills just to navigate the real world. And I think, providing an opportunity to highlight that, I think, was a very important takeaway from this program. And I think I would love to just share sort of a couple of clips of some of the student content just to show you the range of the storytelling and just the excitement and the passion that these students were able to share.
Online shopping has boomed in popularity over the past 30 years, but it's not the shopping that's the problem. It's all of the extra packaging we get with it.
The carp are an invasive species with no natural predators. In the Illinois River, they've already replaced 95% of the fish biomass, according to the National Wildlife Foundation.
It does make me nervous because of the safety of everyone on Earth in the future.
Caroline Hickman, a psychotherapist in the UK, talked to us about climate change anxiety in teens and young people.
A new movement driven by a growing environmental consciousness is bringing America back to its roots in local food production, and may answer the question, what are farm-to-table restaurants and how do they reduce carbon emissions?
Coastal cities, such as Norfolk, Virginia, are at risk of flooding, which may prove to be dangerous if the seas continue to rise. The city is making an effort to combat this with a project called the Coastal Storm Risk Management Project.
It's amazing. Randy, I'd love to ask you, what has it been like seeing the impact of NOVA on your students?
Oh man, there's so many great impacts from this. First of all, the skills that the Nova Science Studio people at WKR gave to the kids. They taught them how to find good, reliable information, how to recognize good news sources, how to set up interviews. I mean, and then the camera skills, all that stuff. And they gave them the platform to tell their stories. That was the coolest part about it. And then the fact that these stories actually matter, right? They're not just doing a typical high school story. They're out there doing stuff that's going to make a difference in the world. I think that was the biggest part. And Ralph, what you said about having the patience to share the power, they really did that. They empowered these kids to give story ideas, to come up with their stuff, and then they would give them guidelines. Okay, this is a better way to write that, maybe with the script. But the kids were able to put their thoughts first and forward, and then learn a more refined way to do it. And I thought that was a fantastic way to connect with them.
Wonderful. Cooper and Caleb, I'm coming back to you. But first, I'm so excited to share another example that we have today of great work that engages young people around another important topic, which is careers. So let's take a look at American Graduate Jobs Explained, which tackles the timeless question that I'm sure we've all heard many times. So what do you want to do when you grow up?
Hi, I'm Tarana from American Graduate Jobs Explained, and we are working with 10 public media stations across the country to introduce teens to in-demand career pathways in their communities. Our stations are creating videos for the most popular social media platforms. Check out some of our videos.
Welcome to Tech Jobs Explained. Today, we're delving into the mystical world of UX design, where creativity and psychology join forces. Are you ready to be spellbound? Let's go.
This is an official welcome to Cyber Jobs Explained. Hi, I'm Wen, and I'll be covering anything and everything you need to know about cybersecurity and how to break into this field.
You really don't need a college degree to find a job that makes good money, allows you to travel, and that doesn't require you to stare at a computer all day.
Yeah, so you can start as an apprentice or a helper in really any outfit as long as someone has a master's license.
In my opinion, the best mentality to have is attention to detail, definitely in whatever job you're going to be doing.
I'd say there's no limit to what you can do in the maritime industry, even if you don't have a background in maritime, even if you don't have a college degree, even if you don't have a particular skill set. There's so many things that you could learn just walking in.
Look, I'm just going to be real with you. The only way you're going to put your hands on me is if you take me out for a 4 for 4 at Wendy's or you become a drone repair technician.
Joining us now on stage are two of the experts behind this work. First, Ariel Alvarez from WNET and Ashwak Al-Shabibi from Detroit Public Television. So welcome, Ariel and Ashwak. Ariel, starting with you, why did WNET decide to pursue this?
Yeah, thank you for having us. Really excited to be here. WNET has been involved with the American Graduate Project since its beginnings. And this next phase of Jobs Explained is really the next step for us to take it in terms of grasping this great opportunity to directly engage with our audience of young people, of Gen Z, bringing them into the conversation, getting their opinions and their feedback about how they are interested in these different in-demand industries. It's a great opportunity also just to share information with them. It's a resource where they can find different information about these in-demand industries and give them the knowledge and the preparation to make informed decisions about where they'd like to go with their careers and that next step into the future. And also, in a digital transformation lens, it's another wonderful opportunity to partner with 10 stations across the country. Ashwak here is from Detroit. And we're really working with each of these 10 social media specialists who are newly hired for the start of this project to get all of their stations and their colleagues on board with producing content in a different way that is new to public media. They're getting used to making short form videos for social media platforms, which is a little new for PBS. So all these PBS stations are getting the hang of Instagram, TikTok, and creating content that speaks to this audience.
It's been amazing to watch, especially your videos, Ashwak. So tell us a little bit about why Detroit Public Television was interested in participating.
Well, they've been doing highlighting education for many years now. They're doing it on a grand scale, but this is probably the first time we have it with just TikTok, social media only. So we finally this is the first time we're doing TikTok and kind of highlighting different careers for the youth. And right now, with TikTok, it's like you have to do it within like 60 seconds or less. And it has to be pretty authentic, as opposed to Instagram and other social videos are more curated. So this one's more authentic. So it's a different way of approaching things.
It's amazing, thank you. And Ariel, going back to you for a moment, what do you hope the impact of this initiative will be, and how have you seen it impact young people?
We just want to empower young people to walk away from watching all this content being more informed about these different industries. We're covering a whole breadth of different industries that, there's a lot of information there that maybe can be a little overwhelming for these younger audiences. And the impact is that they can go to our different channels and learn about the cybersecurity, healthcare, learn about how to get the training and skills needed for that, but then also from people that are maybe early in their fields, as well as the social media specialists who are breaking it down into language that's familiar with them, being funny, engaging, but also informative.
Thank you so much. And now that we have the full panel here, I'd love to spend the remainder of our time reflecting on the impact that you've seen from your own experience as a part of these programs and what you hope the legacy will be. So starting with our Gen Zers, Cooper and Caleb, share with the room, what do you wish older generations better understood about reaching young people, and maybe a personal moment that you've seen the impact of NOVA?
Just simply respecting our diversity as Gen Zers. We are so diverse in gender, sexual orientation, and race. When we come together and be open-minded, that is when we're able to unite and make change together. So I think that's one main takeaway that we need to make sure that other generations understand about us.
I just wanted to say, we want to be related to, we want to be heard, we want to be part of the conversation. If we are never invited to the conversation or included, then we're not going to be able to get our ideas, our experiences out there until way later, and then we're going to do the exact same as the older generations and just lock down from other different people and different types of backgrounds and stuff like that in other generations, we won't be able to talk to them. So we need older generations to lead by example and go, hey, what's your opinion on this matter? Just include us. Because once you do, you hear some very diverse, very interesting, very new opinions on a topic that I think could really influence the future going forward.
Thank you so much. Ralph, what piece of advice do you have for other people in the room who are wanting to reach young people?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think an important thing I've learned over my career doing youth media work, working with youth in general, is to not let the reality of our world sort of deflate the future of theirs. And I mean that by, like, we can often hear a lot of no's. We often hear, we see these constraints that we have to manage. And I think, we have the power, we have the institutions in our control to reshape what they experience. And so just because we might see, sort of the constraints there, is to try to say yes as often as possible to young people, and make sure that we are not deflating, the future that they have in store for themselves.
Love that. Ashwak, what about you? What piece of advice do you have or a takeaway that you want to share about engaging young people?
I'd say be authentic, relatable, and diverse in the content, and listen to what they gotta say, and kind of showcase what they want to learn. As for me, especially doing Tech Jobs Explained, I learned a lot along the line, just learning from them and communicating with them through there and asking for what they think about the videos. Like sometimes they'll be like, hey, that's cringe. And then I'll have to go back okay, let me figure out what to do now. But yeah, pretty much listen, be authentic.
Love that. Randy, what about you?
I think the most important thing that you guys can do in this room is help equip them with the right information, okay? So a lot of misinformation out there, especially where they do all their social media, where they're at. We got to get good information to them, reliable information to them, and then we got to empower them to make their own decisions and trust them to do that, and then get out of the way.
I love that. Ariel, take us home.
A lot of great advice has already been said, but one really practical piece of advice I could give is for any PBS stations that are looking to do something similar and engaging and bringing young people into a project of yours, is to also hire people that are experienced with social and digital media that believe in the value of that work, and making sure that they're equipped to really work with young people to make this awesome content.
Love it. We've had such great answers from all of you today, and I think what I'm leaving our session with is the importance of getting great information out, but once it's out, empowering young people to be a part of the solution authentically and continuing to do what we know works, but continuing to innovate as well. So I hope that you're all leaving our session today thinking that reaching young people is no longer a nice to have, but a must have, and I'm excited for all of us to keep these conversations going about how we can co-create those solutions together. Thank you, and give it up for our panelists.
Thank you to this incredible panel and being with us today.